Dear students, now I am going to tell you another biotechnique, a separation technique called chromatography. In this, I am going to explain you only paper chromatography. Chromatography is an important biophysical technique that enables the separation, identification and purification of the components of a mixture for qualitative and quantitative analysis. So, as I said, it is a separation technique. We can separate the different chemical components in a mixture of a in the liquid medium. We can able to separate it and we can able to quantify this. This may be from a known components or else unknown components. The Russian botanist Michael Tissot coined the term chromatography in 1906, used this technique to separate various plant pigments such as chlorophyll, xanthophylls, carotenoids. You will see here. So, any the plant, the leaves, it is homogenized and it is get separated with the chlorophyll A, B, and you will find the carotenoids, xanthophylls and all this get separated here in this chromatographic plate. So, chromatography is based on the principle where solute or analyte from which we have to separate the different chemical component, or else we have to conduct the analysis of the solvent allowed to interact with the two immiscible phases. So, you will able to see there will be two immiscible phases, a mobile phase and a stationary phase. Mobile phase will be the one the solvent and the stationary phase will be the adsorbent. So, this two immiscible phases, it may be solid and a liquid, or gas and liquid, or liquid with another liquid. So, this two immiscible phases, one will be mobile phase, another will be stationary phase. So, chromatography is based when molecules in mixture applied into a surface of solid or fluid of stationary phase is separated from each other while moving with the aid of the mobile phase. So, it is with the mobile phase, when it is moving, the components will be separated on the stationary phase. So, mobile phase is nothing but the solvent or eluent, you will find here. So, that is nothing but the mobile phase, for which we have to analyze the components that is present, or we have to separate the components present in that. Then there will be a stationary phase. So, it is the column here, this is the column chromatography, where column is packed with the material. So, it helps to elute, this is the elute, the components of this mixture depending on their the weight and mass and other properties and polar properties and etc. So, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry has defined chromatography as a method to separate components distributed between two phases. So, one of which is a stationary phase, what he said, then while the other is a moving one, it is called mobile phase. The stationary phase may be solid or a gel, it may be a solid like a paper chromatography, or else it may be a gel, silica gel. The stationary phase may be packed in a column like this, or spread as a layer. In the case of thin layer chromatography, it is the silica gel will be spread on the glass plate, or distributed as a film, that is what thin layer chromatography. The mobile phase has been it may be a liquid in the liquid chromatography, it may be a gas in the gas chromatography. The stationary phase, this one, it is a sorbent which may be a solid, or it may be liquid supported on a solid. does not move, that's why it's called stationary. So the liquid supported on a solid means silica gel, as I said. The mobile phase may be a liquid, it is a liquid chromatography, or else it is a gas in the gas chromatography. All chromatographic methods involve passing a mobile phase through a stationary immobile phase. So this is the basic principle of chromatography. All chromatographic, there are so many, gas chromatography, or it may be liquid chromatography, ion exchange chromatography, whatever it is, the basic principle is there will be a mobile phase through which it is passing a mobile phase through a stationary immobile phase. So the factors, what are the principles? The factors effective on this separation process include molecular characteristics or adsorption. So in this, what are the principles involved in this is the liquid or the solid, the molecular characteristics, the absorption, the properties, partition properties, liquid, solid, partition property, and affinity of these molecules, differences among their molecular weight, their charges, all these are the factors affecting their separation in the chromatographic technique. Because of these differences, some components of the mixture stay longer in the stationary phase and they move slowly in the chromatographic system. So, for example, if it is a non-polar, it may move faster. If it is a polar compound, it may move slower. So, that is how depending on their properties, they may stay longer duration in stationary phase. So, we can elute the fast moving first, in the we can get it in our container, and later we can get the slower moving solutes. So, this is what you can see, the some substances move rapidly into the mobile phase and leave the system faster. So, we can compare this, this is the road, the stationary phase is the road and the mobile phase is the nothing but the vehicles. Some are moving faster, some are moving slower, depending on their weight, depending on their the requirement. So, that is what you can see. The same thing you can see in the case of the chromatographic technique, in the eluent or else in the analyte, some molecules, some components, chemical components, they move faster in the stationary phase, some move slower. So, which is moving faster we can collect quickly, rapidly, and some moving slower we can collect later. So, that is how we can able to separate. So, here eluate, this is what we collect the separated the substances, the mobile phase leaving the column. So, that is what you can elate. Eluent, that is what we are loading, the solvent that carries the analyte for which we want to separate the components. Sample to be analyzed in chromatography may be consists of a single component or maybe a mixture of components. So, this is what you can see, this is the basic principles of the chromatography. So, how many types of chromatography? Just there will be a paper chromatography you are going to study in detail, where separated dried liquid sample, where the dried liquid sample is applied on the special paper, filter paper, and they are kept in a liquid solvent, so that these molecules get separated. TLC, thin layer chromatography, you will find, where this is what you can see, the thin layer chromatography, where you will find the slide. This slide is applied with the silica gel, a thin layer of silica gel. This is used as a stationary phase to load the sample. So, here the dried liquid sample apply and dry it, then we have to keep this in a liquid solvent in this glass plate. So this is the thin layer silica gel you will find. Then this is the ion exchange chromatography. So you will find charged particles are separated at different speed. So you will, this is the ion exchange chromatography. This is a column chromatography. We can separate the plant pigments and all, you know. So this column chromatography. The plant materials can be homogenized, and we can able to separate different components using this column chromatography. This is called high performance liquid chromatography, where you can say the HPLC column, a specially made column we get for the different components, and this we can analyze in the computer on the, or else in the screen, and we can able to separate and different container. So then you will find gas chromatography, where you know the gas is used as a in the mobile phase. This column chromatography and thin layer chromatography, all these are liquid chromatography, whereas gas chromatography, where you can see the mobile phase, is the gas. Coming to the paper chromatography, paper chromatography is defined as a technique in which the analysis of an unknown substance is carried out by the flow of solvents on a absorbent filter paper. You will find this is a typical what you use in a chemistry lab or else in the biology lab, that is water Wattsman filter paper number 1. It is this, you will see here how exactly different amino acids are separated in this in the paper chromatography. You will able to see the glycine, then you will able to see tryptophan, proline, and all these are separated. You will find at a different height, you can see. So this is what you can see, they are depending on their property, they are separated like this from a mixture. So here paper chromatography is an analytical chemistry technique you might have studied in your chemistry for separating identifying the mixture that are colored or else we can use color later, and we can able to identify the where exactly in which part of the paper they get separated, you know. So for example, if it is an amino acid mixture, we can use ninhydrin solvent, we can spray and we can identify the this is what you can see, it gives different colors for different amino acids, and we can locate the presence of these amino acids. So in paper chromatography, the stationary phase is a very uniform absorbent paper. This is a filter paper, absorbent paper. The mobile phase is a suitable liquid solvent or a mixture of solvents, you can see. So this paper is placed in the solvent, you can see here in the solvent, you will be able to see. So this mobile phase is a suitable liquid solvent or a mixture of a solvent. It was first introduced German scientist Christian Friedrich Sonneborn in 1865. So this is what you can see, the paper chromatography. The paper, it is loaded with the sample and kept in the paper chromatography tank with the solvent, and after 10 minutes you will see the movement of these separation of the component. You will able to see in the paper, the solvent has moved up to here. So in the stationary phase, a paper, and the mobile phase is the solvent. So it is the paper is the stationary phase. The paper is made out of cellulose. You know that the cellulose is a polymer of simple sugar or the glucose. The surface of cellulose is polar, can form, so it is the components, chemical components which are supposed to be separated, they form a hydrogen bond, or they can interact with the van der Waals dispersion force with the molecules to be separated in a mixture. So that is how they are separated at different speed, and we can able to identify it. So then the compound mixture moves along with the mobile phase through the stationary phase. So the mobile phase is the one solvent, it moves through the 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 stationary phase. Along with that, the sample also, along with the solvent, the sample also moved. The solvent will move up to here. So whatever the sample which contains different components, they get separated depending on the polarity or different properties of the chemicals. So the compound mixture moves along with the mobile phase through stationary phase and separates depending on the different degree of adhesion on the paper. So it is the different degree of adhesion because of their differences in the properties of the molecules. Okay, the sample or the compound mixture. So you will find this is the where the 1 centimeter the solvent, and this is the paper. So where we load these the sample. So before keeping the paper into this jar, into this is the jar where chromatographic jar. Before keeping this, we have to load the sample here in the baseline and we have to dry it. Then we have to keep this in a solvent. Then it will move through the capillary action. Here we are not like in electrophoresis we are applying electricity, but here we are not applying any electricity. It is through the capillary action. The molecules they move in this stationary phase, and the molecules get separated depending on their properties. The solvent move up to here. So then we have to stop. So this is how the compound spot here, and this is the solvent front, it is called, and this is the baseline, the origin point. The paper chromatography, there is a horizontal line in the procedure, principles and procedure. We have to take the paper, and this is what you can see, the chromatographic paper, Watsman's filter paper. Then after 1 centimeter or 1 point, so we have to mark it with the help of the pencil. So about 1.5 centimeter from the bottom edge. So we have to mark. Then we have to mark the where we are loading the sample points. So if it is the 1 sample 1 point, 2 sample 2 points, like that you can see. So this is we have to load. Then we have to the sample needs to be separated, is placed as a small drop or a line on the paper using capillary tube. So using capillary tube we have to load the sample here. We have to make the pencil with the mark, and in this we have to load the sample with the help of capillary tube. So the labeling the drop by a pencil with the alphabet or a number help to identify the compound later. So the drops can be soaked in the paper and dried. So this should be dried, and this is how exactly it has to be dried. So here in this, so then the paper is then placed in a sealed container. Here you will see the sealed container, it has to be hanged like this in a sealed container with a suitable solvent. The solvent level must be lower than the pencil line. You will see the pencil line here, the solvent will be here. It is just above this, you can see. Then solvent level must be lower than the pencil line, and the container need to be covered to stop the evaporation of the solvent. Solvent rises up, this solvent rises up. Along with this you can see the molecule, the components also get separated depending on their property. So you will see in this just you can see how the molecules, the components are get separated. If there is a movement, you will see the solvent is now moved here, and the components are moved up to here, you will see. So this is how they move through the capillary action. The chemical components travel with the solvent depends on the polarity of the sample molecules. As I said, if it is the non-polar travels faster. You can see this is the origin. So from this you can see this blue, it is moved faster. If it is a non-polar component, travel faster, and if it is a polar, it is slower, you will see. So the red spot and the blue spot you will find here. Then the attraction between the sample molecules and the solvent, the attraction between the sample and the adsorbent, all these are the factors affecting the movement of the separation. Okay. A suitable solvent mobile phase is moved along with the compound mixture through the paper according to the polarity of the degree of adhesion of each component on the stationary phase. Sample compound mixture molecules move according to their polarity. The most non-polar will travel first along with the mobile phase, then follow polar compound. This is what I said. So, this mood you will find this spot is this compound is moved up to here and this is only here. So, that is depends on their polarity. And then when the solvent rises near the end of the paper, then the paper should be taken out and a sealed container from the sealed container, and it has to be air dried. So, solvent is moved up to the end of the paper now. It is the point of origin. From here it has moved up to here. Then we have to take out from the chromatographic chamber and we have to dry it, and we have to use some suitable solvent to view the different colors. So, what is RF value here? The compounds in the sample travel along the solvent to give separate bands on the paper. You will see here. So, there is a yellow, then different bands you will find. So, this depends on the migration rate of the different component. The distance travelled by a component with respect to the solvent. Solvent will be moved up to here. So, the component only you can see here up to here, the green one, the yellow one only up to here. So, you will find this is the ratio of the distance that compound travelled and the distance of the solvent travelled is denoted as a RF value, and it is mathematically expressed. RF is equal to B by A. B is the from the point of origin the component travelled, this will be B. This is the green, and this is the green compound, that is what is separated, the B for the green compound, whereas the B is the yellow is this one, for the blue this one, for the red this one, and the solvent front will be the same. This is what you can see, the ratio between the solvent front and that of the you can see the component. So, it will be always it will be the ratio of the distance, it is always constant. So, in the paper chromatography there are different types you can see. So far I have explained ascending paper chromatography. The technique goes with its name as the solvent moves in the upward direction. This is ascending. Similarly, descending. So, you will find here the movement or the flow of solvent due to gravitational pull, the capillary action, they move downwards. This is descending paper chromatography. Then ascending and descending paper chromatography. In this version of paper chromatography, movement of the solvent occurs in two directions after a particular point. Initially, the solvent travels upwards, then up the paper fold like this, So, then it will move in the other direction. So, this is what you can see, ascending descending paper chromatography. Then radial circular chromatography, this you will do in your botany lab to separate the plant pigments. You will use circular filter paper. You will find that this is the wick where you will fix the paper on the liquid solvent like this. So, you can able to separate the components like this. You can see the sample is deposited at the center of the, so it is in the center, this is the loading point, and it gets separate and it comes towards the end. So, the solvent front you can see it will be like this. Then two dimensional paper chromatography, the substances which have same RF values can be resolved with the help of two-dimensional paper chromatography. So this is our different types of paper chromatography. Then what are the application? Paper chromatography is considered to be the simplest and most widely used chromatographic techniques because of its applicability to isolate, identifying and quantitative determination of organic and inorganic components. To study the process of fermentation and ripening, to check the purity of pharmaceuticals, it is used in pharmaceutical industries, to inspect the cosmetics and their adulteration in the cosmetic industries, to detect the adulterants in the food products, to detect the contaminants in the drinks and the foods, to examine the reaction mixtures of the biochemical laboratories, protein mixtures, amino acid mixtures, sugars, lipids, and all these get separated using this technique. Determine the dopes and drugs in the humans and animals, to isolate plant pigment. In forensic medicine, monitoring products in the pharmaceuticals and biotech industries, identifying the components of unknown mixture, separation of amino acids, peptides, alkaloids, sugars, lipids, etc. in the biological sample, analysis of blood, hemoglobin, urine, etc., which is the great diagnostic value. So it is in the diagnostic lab also used as a separation technique. To study the structure and the migration rate of amino acid composition of proteins. So all these are the applications of paper chromatography. Thank you.